Hey guys, what's going on and welcome to another episode of Jamming with Jamie. Last time we were focused on a seminar given by Dean Kasagi, and this time we'll be doing much the same. However, this week it's more about his personal story and his rise to wealth, right? So first of all, he starts off by edifying the more accomplished people in the crowd. There's a lot of subtle ways that he'll just start motivating people, and he just throws that in regardless, just throw it. So he talks a lot about his personal story, and so that I'm not just going to repeat his words, I'll just give you guys a brief summary, all right? So he started Amway when he was about 20. He was running a small restaurant that he owned and going to college. Basically, he was just trying to pay the bills. He wasn't really looking for anything. He was just trying to get through college, really. And then one day he was working out in the gym with his friend, right? And as soon as he steps in the room, he sees this group of what he described as gentlemen. So they were just a cut above, they were clean cut, they were all in great shape, they were a bit older, and they had this aura of successfulness about them, right? And so he turns to his friend while he's working out and he makes a comment about them, just seeming to be a cut above. Unbeknownst to him, there was a girl next to him just working out, and she was actually the girlfriend of the biggest one, right? And so she goes up and she tells the biggest one about the comment, and the guy comes over to Kasagi, and Kasagi's just he's just thinking the negative, right? As your brain does. He's just thinking, oh, I'm about to get beaten up. But the guy comes over and he just asks him a couple questions, basically. And yeah, he's just basically trying to find out a little bit more about Kasagi. So he finds out that he owns his own restaurant. And obviously he had the situational awareness. Sorry, I skipped over a little bit there. So the guy actually owns the law firm next door. And the two of the other guys own the banks in town, and one's the mayor. So obviously Kasagi was right on the money with that, right? So the guy comes over, he gets to learn a bit about Kasagi, and he's genuinely impressed. He's just if you have the situational awareness to pick us as a cut above without knowing who we are, and you own your own business at age 20, that's impressive. And so he invites him to sit down, which leads to a seminar. In the seminar, as Kasagi is hearing these multimillionaires speak, all he can think is, I don't think I can do this by myself, but if one of these guys mentors me, then I'm certain I can do it. And basically, that's exactly what they're thinking. They're looking for someone to mentor. He doesn't know that at the time, but he soon finds out. And basically, I just want to talk about the importance of mentorship. It has been proven to be the number one way to reach any high level goal as quickly as possible. All the great people in any arena would have had a mentor in some stage in life, because you can't do it without it, right? So another thing, last week we actually talked about retention and how focusing on retention actually is counterproductive to retention. So Kasagi actually uses himself as an example. You know how I talked about leveraging egos? So he has this 18-year-old newbie in his team, and Kasagi's 21 at the time. And the 18-year-old comes up to Kasagi and he's just like, "Hey, I was just wondering if you could do a meeting for me." Kasagi hasn't done a meeting at this point, but the 18-year-old doesn't know this. And so 21-year-old Kasagi is just like, "Yeah, I'm 18, you're 21. I can do a meeting for you. I've seen how it's done." And so the team as a whole, by bringing on this new person and this new person coming to Kasagi, has leveraged Kasagi's ego. I wouldn't say against him, because it's for his better, it's for his teaching, but he leverages Kasagi's ego for him, and that's how he did his first meeting. Granted, it didn't go well, but live and learn. He also talks a lot about the people he passed and how the only reason he thinks he passed them was because they were comfortable. When you're comfortable, you're not as hungry, you're not as driven, right? It's a big thing. People coming from poorer areas being successful, having a higher rate of high success, and it's just because they come from an uncomfortable background, right? You want it more. He also talks a little bit about wounded animals. So basically the metaphor he's trying to say is that the intelligent wounded animal should always seek the shelter of the herd. So this is to say that if you have a problem, if you have an issue, don't just go and sulk about it by yourself. That's not going to get a solution, right? You've got to seek the shelter of the herd. You've got to talk to your team. You've got to communicate about the problem and come to a solution. Because ultimately, solutions is what it's about, right? And yeah, I know this one was a short one, guys, but I'm working on the next talk, and I'm sure that'll be a good one. But thanks for staying tuned and smash that like button, guys. See you next time.